Welcome to CLA Everything. I'm Chris Lord-Alge. We're here at MixLA. We're going to focus on CLA Everything, all my plugins, starting from the compressors, the signatures, the CLA Mixdown, the MixHub, and Epic. We'll show you how to stack these plugins into combinations you would have never thought about. Think outside the box. I know you guys like to rack them, stack them, and pack them. Well, I'm showing you how CLA racks them, stacks them, and packs them to make them kick some tail and have some fun. Here is a song from an artist I work with, Phil X the Drills. I can show you how I will have a vocal that starts out with the MixHub, goes to the 76, and then goes to the Epic. Most of the time, the school of thought for me is MixHub is first. Here's why. MixHub is the generator of EQ, of distortion. I always want to start with that. And then after that, it's whatever I want at that point for flavor. So we'll start here, and we'll solo this track, and we'll see what we get here.
Didn't have to be this way.
We show that we use the MixHub here to formulate my sound. Look, here's my 76. Boy, I'm hitting that hard, aren't I? I can pull back on that if I want. And I use this just for a little limiting at the end of it.
Didn't have to be this way.
And then look, with this, seasoned to taste.
Everything you meant to say.
Monitor stereo.
Let's crash to the floor with every seed you
Since it's a rock track, I'm keeping it pretty dry.
All the thoughts you bled. It's time to say hello. So what's inside your head? In your head. Yeah, she's on fire.
So here's another way you could say, you know what, Chris, I really like that combination, but I'm a real fan of your other plugins, right? So let me just try the 3A there and do the same thing, and I'll show you what that does.
Didn't have to be this way. Walking out that door.
I like that too.
Everything you meant to say.
So this way, what you're doing is you're EQing into the compressor
Didn't have to be this way.
to get that sound of it squeezing it, and then just the limiter to take off some of the transients, and then here, just for some effect. I'll tell you what, I really like that 3A. Who made that? CLA? Right, so on the same vocal, let's try another combination, all right? You're like, well, Chris, I like the signature series. Let's see what happens when we combine. Let's try the vocal plug-in, right? Put him on there, and
didn't have to be this way.
Let's mute this Epic. So now we have EQ, right? Into this. And our third plug-in, which kind of drifted behind the wall there.
All the thoughts you bled. It's time to say hello.
We could use him also.
To what's inside your head. In your head.
So try him one more time.
Didn't have to be this way. Walking out that door. Everything you meant to say. Words crash to the floor. With every seed you've sown. All the thoughts you bled.
You can get some great stuff.
To what's inside your head. In your head. Didn't have to be this way.
So now we go through Epic.
Walking at that door. Everything you meant to say.
Let's take this off.
Words crash to the floor. With every seed you've sown. All the thoughts you bled. It's time to say hello. To what's inside your head. In your head.
So by using these combinations, I find that I get results that I can't physically come up with any other way. What I'm showing is there's no real rule to doing it. All right, let's put another CLA plug in there. Let's find CLA effects, right? Let's put that last, just for chorus, right? So take all these off. So then,
it didn't have to be this way. Walking at that door, everything you meant to say, words crash to the floor. With every seed you've sown, all the thoughts you've led, it's never say hello to words inside your head, in your head.
another combination I've used that you're never going to think about. So think, look, when you're working with CLA Everything, that means you can line things up the way I do. For example, here, something you guys are always playing with drums is seeing what the room track will do. So combination I have for a room track would be, let's start with the EQ. Let's use the CLA drums on room. Why not? Okay. Let's go to the newest, latest, greatest CLA Epic, and let's finish it with the CLA 3A. Here's the overdrive. We can have a selection of EQ here. And then we want to use one of the rooms here. Use that to drive even harder. Look, let's get wet now. Can you try? Room track, right? Because the real tone of the room is in the mid-range, right? Using Epic on a room preset. And then you're like, well, Chris, I mean, the 3A is okay, but I want something really nasty and more aggressive. Right? So why don't we just do this? The old number 1, right? Let's put the old number 1 there. But go black. Take the crunch off. How about just use the slap? And then when you solo it, you have so many different different tones on this. A little more natural. So let's say, well, Chris, maybe it's a snare drum I want to mess with. Okay. So straight snare top, right? And we start with just a little CLA MixHub. How far can I go? How can I make it a little more interesting, right? Let's not be traditional. Let's do what CLA would do. I'm going to put the CLA vocal plugin on it, okay? And then I will put the old number 1 on the black setting. So we have Mr. Hub, and then we will open up our CLA Vocals, all right? And then we'll put the 76 going. I'm like, okay, here's a combination you didn't think of, is it? Okay, we don't need the stereo part. And maybe the slap, not so necessary. But how it reacts is completely different than, there's that frequency, right? The Ring King. Right? I think now, because we can stack plugins in a certain way, we can get combination of sounds that weren't easy to manufacture years ago. A guitar solo. How about Crowdzilla? Because the preset is basically a giant early reflection or short crowd maker, whatever we put through it gets even wider. Because the delay is mostly coming from this. Now, let's stack them even higher. So we go back over here. Okay, I'm like, okay, let's go ping pong. Or we can go over here to, let's just quarter with tail. Quarter with tail. Turn the tail up even more, right? Or if we put this on edge, what happens? So another thing that we try is bass. Here's our EQ, right? Here is Mr. 7. There's our beautiful bass plugin, okay? And then we will use here, because I like it and it works good also, is our 3A, okay? Let's see how this rolls out, okay? Let's just start out. All right, plain, all in bypass, okay? Get the point of it, that going on, right? Turn this. Ooh, add the sub. And before it, finisher. See what happens when he comes back in. It's going to be ugly. Oh, really, kids? Is that distorting? Look how I pull that gain back. It just changes so much. You hear inside the track that as soon as you start pushing and pulling and EQing and compressing, all of a sudden the bass is finding its place in the record. And this is what I do with mixing every day, is finding a place. So whether it's my MixHub, a Signature, a 76, an Epic, an Echosphere, whatever, right? I'm able to now, with CLA Everything mentality, combine it all in one place and say, hey, guess what? Mix with no rules.